Okay.
All right.
Whoa, what's that look about, Melanie? What is that look?
I was
Are
gonna
you
start
trying to
singing to
seduce
you because
me?
I've had this song stuck in my. I've had that song, every time you cry, save up all your tears. You didn't know that song?
I don't keep
I will
singing.
be your rainbow when they disappear. No? Wash away the pain until you smile again. I will be the one who dries your eyes every time you cry. Every time you cry. No, just Australia? My bad.
Who is it by? Who is it by?
A bloody clue. I can never remember that stuff. I've had it stuck in my head all morning. Are we going to get cancelled if I sing other songs?
Sing it all. Sing it all. I'm sure I know the song. You know what it is you're probably singing it so well that I can't even recognize it.
You might as well have, in Game of Thrones, I've never forgotten that lady with her stick. Shame, shame. You might as well have just gotten that little paddle out and been like, shame, shame
It was
at
so
me.
good though. No, no, your singing was scrumptious. It was
Ah,
scrumptious. It was delicious.
rumptious, just like our chat that we
Oh,
just had
yes.
with
Oh,
Amélie Wen.
yes, ma'am. Yeah, we just had the most glorious interview. So stick around. Stick around.
Stick around. Don't let my Dolce tones scare you away.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to Of the Publishing Persuasion. Melanie she really just serenaded us.
Yeah,
And for that, I think we should all be grateful. I think we should all
you
take a
should be
moment.
grateful.
Yeah, take a moment to just really think about just how precious that was, how lucky we are to hear Melanie Schubert, if you
Scuba, if
will.
you will.
If you look in the back of Sinner's Isle, which I'm
It's
still
true.
horrified over. Yeah, I spelled her name wrong in the acknowledgements. I apologize.
Was it
It's
you? I
actually
thought I was blaming your team. So in case you didn't
yeah,
make it
no, it's
through,
the team. It's the
it was the
team.
team.
No, it's me. It was probably me. I don't know.
That makes it even funnier. I just feel like I have to recap for the people who didn't make it all the way to the end of our ranty chat the other day. Yes, my name is misspelt. It is the one typo in Sinner's Isle. My bloody name. It
And
feels
you
like
had a whole paragraph too.
I
Like you had a whole paragraph in the acknowledgements, and I spelled it wrong.
that's why it was so funny because as I obviously hadn't read it, the
Oh,
acknowledgements till I got my physical copy from you.
yeah.
And I was like very emotional. My friend sent me her book and it's getting published and I'm reading it and tears are streaming down my face. Tears of pride, tears of joy. And then I get to the end of this beautiful acknowledgement
Yeah.
written by Angela, and it's like Melanie Scubbert.
Uh,
Bloody typo.
yeah, yeah. I'd like to say it was like a on purpose and just a little jest, but it slipped through the cracks apparently.
It
Or
slipped.
maybe they ran out of H's that day. Maybe they
Oh
had
no,
I'd
the
met
H is there, the C
oh, the
is not
H is there.
there. My
Oh,
bad,
so
my
it's
bad. It
it's
still
sh
says Schubert.
oh, okay. Well, we're close then. We're
Close.
close.
Yeah. I'm literally crying from this conversation already.
Yeah, I apologize. Next time I'll try and get it right. Or
Yeah.
will I?
Damn straight. Oh,
No. I should.
leave out the
I
S
should.
next time or something dramatic. Schubert. Although I love that you said next time. Oh, she's gonna be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, yes. Oh, actually, never mind. I don't want to have any spoilers, but yes.
Oh.
There might be a Schubert in the book that I'm in Cruel Thirst.
Well, I'll
Um,
have to add to your shrine. Do you see, now that
yeah.
we're close, do you see your little shrine?
Oh, yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I really do. I do. I have to tell you, because your birthday's coming up.
Oh, I forgot.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, we've got a little while,
Yeah.
but I got you something and I can't obviously share it with you right now, but I wasn't sure if I should like send it because it's something like I could just send it like on an email kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, maybe I should like print it out, but I got it back yesterday and I was howling. Like it's so I wish I could share it with you, but everybody, Melanie's birthday is on St. Patty's Day, but it's St. Patty's Day in Australia, so it's a day the day
That's
ahead of
true.
ours. But yeah, yeah, you can add it to the shrine, I think, or you could print it and put it in your bedroom, I think, like just a big
Oh my gosh.
print.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Do you know what I just love? I love that we ask our authors, what's the strangest thing you own? And I keep thinking if I get that question, it's literally like all the shit you've sent me.
Yeah, I'm 100%. My strangest thing is that deranged goat friggin' demon you sent me.
I can guarantee what I've sent you now is gonna be the strangest thing you own. The one that I
Oh
told you when
my
I bought
gosh.
when I was wandering around Chinatown the other day. And
Yes.
I was specifically looking for it. I knew they would have it there. And it's definitely gonna wind up being a
I'm
little bit of
excited.
tourist merch for you.
Oh,
Oh, I've let okay, don't read into that
oh.
too much. Don't read
Okay.
into that too much. We won't give the
Okay.
surprise away.
I should give you some tourist merch from here. It would just be like,
What
just
would it be?
gosh, I don't even know. It would be something totally like America. It
I
would
was
be
gonna
just,
say,
it
would
would
it
just,
be like America? Would it be
yeah, it would
monkeys
just
with
be
the
like,
flag on
yeah, it would be like a an eagle on steroids, and he's
it?
just like America. That's what it would be if I could
That
send you
gif
something.
that you sent me of that eagle doing the little kick with the America, that's literally every time I think America, I'm gonna see that eagle now.
And that is us. That is all Americans, just America.
You,
Yeah, just
okay,
real
it's not
proud.
all of you. It's not all of you, but like, let's be real, some of the TV that makes its way over here, there is a lot of
Sure.
times we'll be watching TV and I'll just be like, America.
Oh yeah, Americans say that to ourselves. Like,
Yeah,
Wow, that's an American right there."
that is an American. They are proud of that flag.
Yeah.
They are
Yes.
proud of that flag.
Yes. Yes. That is a thing. That is a thing. I actually just yesterday, because we're getting into our political season again. I
Ooh,
guess it's always
yes.
political,
Mm.
but we're getting into it again. And so I live in Northern California. I live in a smaller area. So
Mm.
some people feel like they can get away with a few things, but not real like California, like people don't really like play
Mm.
with anyway. But
With
this
extremes.
guy, yeah, like we don't love. And if you are in California and you're like that, you're like in the
Mm.
woods of
Is
California.
that right?
Yeah, for the most part, right?
Mm.
And I live in Northern California, so there are some woods up here.
I
But
bet.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Um,
where they hide the
but
bodies.
oh baby, all the time. But there was a guy and he had his like beat up old pickup truck and he had like a Trump flag and then of course the standard American flag, but it wasn't standard because it was like a drawing of it like being peeled back and then there was Trump and he was like buff. And I was like, yeah, America right there. That is America right there. So yeah, it's just a time to
Mm.
reflect, you know, and
That honestly sounds like satire.
yeah, honestly, it feels like it. It feels like a joke, like a
Mm.
prank, but it's not a funny prank because it's real.
Mm.
Anyway, how's Australia doing?
Well, if I may, I'd love to make a really mundane complaint today.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, like the older I get, how much more am I going to have to pluck my bloody chin? It's getting to
Oh,
deforestation levels.
oh
Can I
yeah.
just
Oh
have a
yeah.
mundane moment to complain about that?
No, please, it's only going to get worse. And
Oh.
coming and let me tell you, Melanie, I am naturally a hairy gal. And I was when we were interviewing uh just right now, honestly, I was like, uh-oh, I don't think I waxed very well. So
Yeah.
yeah, so the
No, it's
yeah.
looking good, baby. It's
Oh,
looking
good.
good. But like I definitely, yeah. My mo, my beard, maybe I should just grow it out and market it.
Yes.
I mean, it's not there yet, but yeah, like maybe she should be the bearded lady at this point because I'm just like, I was just like plucking them this morning and I was like, Lord Almighty, how many motherfuckers are there? I just feel
How
like
many chin hairs do you have? How many do you got?
I've lost count.
Oh, we've got a bunch. We're
We've got a bunch. Those Croatian genes, I did have. This is so bad. And these are not my words, okay?
okay.
But
Oh no.
I did have an auntie, like an great aunt in Croatia. She's passed, blessed be her name. I
Bless
never
it, bless
met
her.
her, but like I remember she had a full mo and my cousins would call her Baba Rambo. She just grew it out and I guess they thought it was like a bit masculine or whatever. So they called her Baba Rambo. I don't know if anyone called it to her face, but she
Well,
just
I
let
would
it
hope
grow.
not.
So maybe that's where
Oh,
my genes are coming from. Because, yeah,
you're
I'm
the
sure
new.
by that age, I could have a full.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You and Phil
Yeah.
are going to be competing for the
Well, we
mustaches.
might, because he's not the hairiest guy at all.
So you're like, move over, bitch.
He will, I think he could get to the stage. Oh, that's all right though. I'm not that funny about it as a general, but I was just like, this moment is just like, for fuck's sake, there's just a few that I was just like, wow, they're really there. They're really
Yeah.
there.
And the chin hairs in particular, like they're like little bastards too.
They
Like
are
they're
little
they're
bastards.
they're thick. Like they
They're,
are
she's girthy.
they're girthy.
She had some roots on her.
Ooh, ouch. Ouch.
Ah. So
But
yeah,
it's so
we just
satisfying.
discussed my chin hair for like 5 minutes, but
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah. It's real life.
I feel
We
like
we
people used to be like shame each other about stuff like that. And so, I'm always like more blatant about it so that we can just be like, yeah, bitches
oh
have
yeah.
chin hair.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like especially growing up as like a hairy girl. Like
Hmm.
I was so embarrassed about all of the
True.
hair. And I didn't know how to like I remember because my mom's not hairy. My mom's
Mm.
like a Irish white lady, right?
Ah,
So
true.
she didn't understand my hair, she didn't understand my body because
Yeah.
we're very different in so many ways. I'm my dad's daughter. Like
Mm.
I'm. And so I had a lot of arm hair. Like my arm
Mm.
hair was my arms were so hairy.
Mm.
And I just remember everybody saying, "Oh, don't shave them because they'll grow back like 3 times as hairy."
Oh, they
And
love to scare you with that in
oh,
high school.
yes. And then so I didn't do it because I thought, "Oh no, if it's
Mm.
gonna get hairier, like
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
gonna look like Sasquatch." And so I didn't shave it I didn't shave it until I heard people
Mm.
making fun of me about it in
No,
school.
they did not.
They did,
Like
they
I'm
did.
making fun
So,
of myself about my chin hairs, but real talk, like I let my leg hairs grow out all the time because I'm like, look at them, motherfuckers, look at them. And even my pits, I don't like try be too pedantic about it because I'm like, there is hair there and it grows. Like
yeah,
I never want to be one of those people who's just like so like because yeah, like that's horrible that you had to experience that.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Even now, like, because I have dark, coarse hair, so like my legs, if I don't shave them, you're gonna see. And even if I do
Yeah.
shave them, you're still being like, "Did you shave?" So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's one of those things like hairy girls.
Well, I'll
We're
never
fine,
be
we're
like that
okay.
because
No.
I grow them long enough sometimes to feel the breeze in mine. So
Wow, you sexy
I
bitch.
know, and like some of my girlfriends were like cackling at me, and they're like, "What about Phil?" I was like, "He doesn't care. He didn't like." I would never have married like a superficial guy who's like, oh my gosh, like your hair, like gosh, I'd have rather been single with my cats, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can't stand
Yeah,
people like that. And I'm
it's
like, who
true.
gives a shit? Like, he can
Yeah.
run his fingers through it, you know?
Ooh, you can braid it. Oh, there is a queen on Drag Race. And then she does like her leg hair like art.
Yeah.
So Melanie, you should try
I mean, it's not quite like I'm not quite that hairy everywhere else. So alas, I don't think I'll be braiding my leg hairs for you. Like they're quite like when they actually grow out, they're quite light. So
Oh, you lucky bitch.
but
You lucky
speaking of Drag
bitch.
Race,
Yes.
sorry, I digress from our body hair.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Although
It's
if
run
you
its
give me the
course.
names and numbers of the people who teased you, I will send them shits from Australia.
Yes, please.
Those
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
It's okay because I shave my arms and I'm happy with it. I'm happy I
Mm,
shaved my arms. It's fine.
yeah. But
What were
damn
we talking
them.
about? Drag Race?
Oh yeah, Drag Race. Speaking of which, I literally, when we talked about it the other week, and you're like, who's your favorite queen? And I said Plain Jane. I literally deleted that part from our conversation
You
because
did?
I was so ashamed that in the moment I forgot my true queen of my heart, Nymphia Wind.
Yes.
Not the leg hair queen, but
Right.
the queen of my heart.
Nymphia. Yeah. So Nymphia, she's your girl. She's your number one?
She is everything she does to me is flawless,
Yeah.
funny, well thought out. I do love Plain Jane too. And to be honest, I had to delete that part because it was just chaotic. There was too much feedback. And I was like, that
Okay.
plus the comment, no, it's not
Yeah.
staying.
Yeah, you're not putting that out there. You're not
Yes.
letting people know it's just plain Jane. You
No, it's
want them
not
to
just
know.
plain Jane because she's still a bit salty, but we do love the
Yeah.
salt. But no,
Yes.
Nymphia is queen of my heart. Now that you've had time to think about it, is your answer the
Yeah.
same?
I Gosh, I want to see those two at the finale because
Yeah.
I think, like, so honestly, Nymphia has not done a single thing wrong. Like,
Yeah.
she is perfect, and
Mm.
her look, like, the way, like, her theme of just like banana, like, she goes hard with her banana loving self, and
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Mm.
And
I
she's
agree.
sneaky. She's sneaky.
She is sneaky because they didn't know that queen could dance, but that queen
Yes.
could dance. She can sing. Her fashion is like high fashion, like everything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, her theme is banana, but it's like banana that's gonna walk the catwalk.
Yeah, it's banana with a pussy, girl. Like it is
Banana with a pussy on fire, girl.
on fire. Yeah. No, I can't like she's like a Sasha is it Sasha Fierce? Sasha,
I
right?
can't
Who
remember.
won last year? Is it Sasha? I'm sorry, I
I'm
apologize.
shit with
Oh
names.
no.
You're
Yeah, me
asking the
too.
wrong
But
person.
it was like last year's winner because you just knew she was gonna
Yeah.
be the last bitch standing because she's just
Yeah.
that fierce. Nymphia's like that. I love Plain Jane too. I love how
Yeah.
messy she is, and she's just good. And then when you learn her backstory, you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I get it. And that's what I love about like Drag Race is like they take the
Mm.
time to like listen to the girls and let them talk about their
Yeah.
lives and their backstories
It
and I
changes
mean
everything, eh?
it
When you
really
hear
does.
someone's, that's probably like, that's the thing. It's why story is so important. It's why reading like widely, diversely is so important. Like
Yes.
learning to understand like a brain outside of your own. Like if you're only judging something from one freaking source, I
Yes.
probably don't want your opinion on life, you know?
Yeah. 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 You're probably screaming Murica if you're just reading one source.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
freaking suffocate over here. You freaking legend. You freaking
Uh,
legend.
but
Can I
I
ask
mean,
you
it's
some random questions? Oh no, no, go.
okay.
I'm so
No,
ADHD. Go.
I was just gonna say it's I love that you said that because it's so,
Yeah,
so, so important to read diversely
yeah,
and outside of your own experience. It's how you understand the world and how you feel empathy for others. And
yes.
so it's a powerful, powerful thing. And I really, really hate when
Mm,
I see, like the book recs or the lineups of books that people are
mm,
showing, like my top 10 of the year. And I really hate if I
mm.
just see all
Yeah,
books by
fuck that
white-
shit.
yeah, fuck that shit. Like all white authors, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
expand your reading. Although I would hope that if you're listening to the show, I'm just going to assume you already are. Because
yeah.
you're obviously really cool and really smart if you're listening to of the publishing persuasion. You've got
Well, if
lots of
they don't have your book by now, are they even a fan of the show? And what?
that's what I gotta wonder. I gotta
Yeah.
wonder. If you haven't purchased Sinner's Isle, are you even cool? That's what I want to
Are
know.
you? I don't
Are
know.
you? Yeah. Yeah. What were you gonna ask, Melanie,
No, mine
before?
was so random. I have so many random things for you today.
Okay.
It's just a fun episode today, you know?
Yeah,
I
it's
had
just
some would you rathers for you, and I have some
oh,
fury hells for you if you're in the mood.
okay.
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 Are you ready?
I think so.
So, would you rather have your name tattooed on your forehead or have no front teeth?
Oh, huh. I think I would just have it tattooed because you could just wear makeup. No, but you could also just wear dentures. So
I bloody love you. No, let's go with your first answer. I'd love
okay.
to see it.
I'm just yeah.
Montoya. Montoya
Just
in the
represent.
house.
Represent. I've got the space on this forehead. I could easily put yours and my last
And then
name.
on your chin, you'd have like family, pub,
Yes.
pub persuasion.
Yeah, but shaped like a beard.
And then
Like
we wouldn't
shaped
have
like a
to
beard.
pluck our beards.
Yeah. Perfect. This is the perfect solution. What
Okay.
about you? What would you do?
No, I'm just asking you today. I just want
Oh,
your
okay.
reactions. Would you rather eat a wet loaf of moldy bread or
Oh,
drink a pint of whipped fish?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do I have to answer this? Like,
Yeah.
do I have to do
I
it?
don't know. Do your
Okay,
best.
a wet
What if there
loaf.
was nothing left? You were in prison and there was
Then I
only
would go fish because fish is good for you.
whipped fish.
Whipped, like, was it like slapped? It was whipped. No, I'm just kidding. Like, just like
Like a
blended.
moose, like fish mousse.
Oh, I would do that because
Okay.
fish is
Yeah.
it's healthy for you.
Of
If
course,
I'm in pri
the koi killer
yeah,
with pig
yeah,
fish.
that motherfucking fish better watch it. Those fish better learn.
Okay, I
Yes.
love this one. Would you rather accidentally like an old photo of your ex on Instagram or
Oh,
accidentally send a naughty text to a relative?
oh God. I guess it depends on the relative, but I think I would just, oh, uh-huh. Hmm.
It's hard. It's
You know
hard.
what? I would, no, because you know what? Let me tell you something, Melanie. I broke a lot of hearts.
I bet.
I broke a lot of hearts, Melanie. I don't want to put them through that again. I don't want them, seeing my face and thinking, oh
Yeah,
man, she really ruined me.
it's true. They couldn't
So,
handle it. They would
yeah,
break.
they
They would break all over again.
So I'll just send a naughty text to
Yeah.
my Aunt Jan. I don't have
And
one,
I
but
just
if I
had like
did,
a memory then of when I was in college and I was doing a teaching prac. So like just teaching in a school as practical experience. And the girl I was going with, I was texting her all the time. I was also engaged to Phil at the time. And I had
oh,
written this fucking long sappy message. And
oh,
like I had just, it was like one of those moments I was just having, and I just was like, oh, I just love him so much. And I wrote this text out long. And then I get this message back. And I think I called him some kind of pet name I was calling him at the time, like whatever. It wasn't Pumpkin, but let's go with Pumpkin.
little koala, his
Yeah,
little
like
koala.
my little baby koala. And I
Yes,
got this
little
message back
chlamydia
like,
koala, little
yeah, yeah. And
chlamydia.
I got
Yeah.
a message back and it was like, hey, my little baby koala, I don't think this was for me. It was the girl that I was working with every day. I'd sent it to her.
Ooh, but hey, at least she, probably felt really, really uncomfortable. But
She
she
was
made.
good nat It was like she was good natured. It would have been like if I sent it to you and you just take the shit out of me
Oh
forever.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
totally. I would love to send I would love to see a text from you to fill. I would love one. I would love to.
It's mostly just like rude jokes and just like we gossip a lot to each other. We just like we talk about everything. So it's like it's just like a group chat, you know, rude memes and penis jokes.
Perfect. Sounds like a good time. It sounds like a good time.
Do you want more? How are you feeling?
I feel fine. I feel great. I feel
Huh.
like I can handle
Okay. Would you rather eat one live spider or a box of crickets?
a box of crickets, but they're not alive crickets, right?
Oh, they're alive now.
Well, then one spider.
Ooh, what if it's a redback?
Oh, is that what you guys call them? A redback?
What do you call them?
Wait, what kind of spider is that? Like a black widow?
Do they have a red butt?
Yeah,
Like a
they
red
do.
line?
Yeah.
In Australia,
Oh,
do you have those?
yeah.
Australia
Well,
seems to think that's our iconic spider.
I guarantee you, you guys have. I guarantee you, your spider is a lot scarier than probably
Oh,
ours.
ours
Is it
can
scary?
kill. Ours can
Yeah. Well,
kill.
no, black widows can kill, but they're not like, and they're gross. Okay,
Mm.
we're gonna have to compare notes on the spiders.
Mm. We'll
Yeah.
Google for next episode.
Yeah, I get like somebody's probably listening and is like a spider expert and is like, you dumb bitches. They're so
Yeah.
different.
The spider
Um,
expert is thinking that every episode.
yeah, yeah. You just in general.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you call it again?
A redback?
Oh, that's not that cool of a name. Black
No, it's
Widow's
not that
cooler.
cool. And we've got another one called a whitetail.
A
They're all
white-tailed spider?
yeah, whitetail and redback. We
Yeah,
would
not
like
that
letting
creative.
kids name our spiders.
Yeah, not that creative. We've got Black Widow.
That sounds
And then
cool.
one is like a recluse, a brown recluse.
Oh,
Yeah, that
we've
one's
got
introverted.
we've got
He's very
a
introverted.
funnel web and a trapdoor spider.
Ooh, trapdoor. That
That like they
sounds
literally make little doors in the dirt
how
and they
cute.
yeah, and they like wait under the door and then when something comes across, they pounce out and grab it and go back.
Oh God. Good
Mm.
Lord. What's wrong
Mm.
with Australia? Let's just talk about that. What's wrong with Australia?
So much. Camels.
Camels. That was the beginning of the end for Australia. It was camels. Who would
Camels,
have
the
thought?
gift I sent you.
Yes.
I'll
Oh,
save some more for another day.
okay.
Do you have a writing update you want to give us?
Huh. What do I have to tell you today? What have I been doing? Um, we are working on the like the cover, not the cover, but like the what is that thing? What is like the
Book plate?
description for
Ah,
the
blurb.
yeah, like the blurb description for the cover for A Cruel Thirst, which is really cool and really fun. So it's like we're starting to get closer to more things happening. It's been fun because I've just been asking random friends or people that I've known that have read Sinner's Isle that liked it.
Mm,
Just to read A Cruel Thirst. I've just been like slowly like slipping
yeah.
Word docs into the atmosphere. To see what people think.
Mm,
And it's been really, really fun to hear
yeah.
what people think. And um I've heard and I'm really happy to hear it, but that a few friends have said that they like this book much better than Sinner's Isle, which is nice to hear. Thank you. And honestly, like it's a really fun, really
Mhm.
sweet, adventurous swoony will make you cry book, and so I'm really
Mm,
excited about it. I think with Sitter's Isle I was pretty nervous because I knew it took a while to get the characters
mm,
together because I
gotcha.
really, I wanted to focus on their own individual journeys and, all
Mm,
of that, which I'm really proud of and I love. But with this one, like we sort of learned what people
mm,
weren't necessarily loving in Sinner's Isle. And so I learned just in writing, like what we were talking about later on. Like I feel like I've gotten a little bit better with what I
mm.
didn't get right necessarily with Sinner's Isle. Again, I love Sinner's Isle,
No, I know.
but but yes,
It's okay to
I'm
love something and know you can do better. Like it's
yeah.
okay to love something and know that like you're like that this is your most proudest. And then your third book will probably be your most proudest. Because like
Yes.
it's like Amélie said that like that's in the moment, like you find a new you. It's like who you are in the moment. Of course, you're going to resonate with the latest one more, you know?
That's it. That's it right there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I will hear something else about a third book. That's what I'm waiting on actually this week. So
This week, good
yes, this
Lord.
it should be this week. I
Mm,
will know if it's a yay or a nay on
okay.
the third book. So we're
Manifesting
manifesting.
dance.
Yes. How about you? What are you up to?
Slowly plotting through drafting. Honestly, like I'm kind of I thought I would like push through in like a draft race, but I'm kind of relieved I'm taking this one slow because you know what? I have been in the query trenches a long time. And I
Yeah.
think going at the pace I was going is not
Mm,
really sustainable. And when I was doing it like that, I think when you have a deadline you're working towards or whatever, you can just be like, boom, let's write this in like a couple weeks. But I was working like that all the time, even though there was no deadline. So I think
yeah.
I'm really just, and yeah, like it's, I don't know if I already said this, but it's weird because like in the end, I realized my word for this year is balance. And yeah, I'm not looking at it and thinking like, oh, it's a failure because I'm not fast drafting it. I'm plucking away at it, you know? I don't write
Yeah.
every day right now. That's a lie. I do write every day right now, even if it's just a little bit, but not like huge chunks. Like there'll be days when I just give myself the day off because I'm like, bitch, you've been working hard. And I think
Yes.
like I think because I've been writing full time, sometimes you're your own worst enemy because you feel like
Mm,
you have to constantly be working to validate that thing, you
yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually good. It's good that I'm
Good.
slower drafting this one, and it's given me like the bandwidth to focus on getting other projects out down other avenues that I hadn't thought about
Good.
before. So, yeah,
Yes.
feeling good
What
about
are the
like,
other avenues? Are you comfortable with talking about that? Like, what are you
yeah,
trying, doing?
okay. I mean, I did submit Soul Swapped to Castlebridge Media, which is the publisher
Yes.
that has published my anthology piece because I noticed they were open to
Oh,
submissions. Let's just tell the podcast. I was like, why not? I already know they like my voice. I already know they like my style. I didn't realize that they did fantasy and that kind of stuff as well. So I was like, I've loved working with that editor. I was like, that once you realize that like that's what I wanted to talk about with you, like just this whole thing of like leaning in and trusting that I want to work with good people. End of sentence.
yes.
Because that is what's more important to me than like necessarily having the biggest or the baddest. Not that I'm not happy if those things come my way, but I want them to be good. I don't want to have to
Yes.
sacrifice a part of myself for like a dream that's like maybe someone else's dream. Because what I'm realizing is like the more I like gather people around me that are like-minded, opportunities come up that I'm actually excited about. And so I was like,
Yes.
yeah, fuck it. Like I'm going to try sub directly to them. So we'll see. We'll see. And then the poetry, I
Amazing.
submitted some of the little poems I've been writing to a magazine. I'm going to try look for more ops like that. And again, just chasing the good energy. Like, where does it feel like my people are, you know?
Yes. Oh my God, this makes me so happy and excited. And I think it gives you like a new sort of like electricity too, of just like, oh,
Yeah.
I've got these new things I'm trying out. And like it's fun
Yeah.
just to search for different like different houses and imprints and all
Yeah.
of the stuff. Like sometimes just searching for things is kind of fun.
But that's what I mean. When I was just focused on writing new work and getting it into the trenches, I've been missing a lot of opportunities because I've been like, this book wasn't good enough. I better write something better. I've been putting
Yeah.
that level of pressure on myself.
Right.
And like, whilst you do level up in whatever, now in the current mindset, I'm like, those books were good. They were great. They didn't find their home, but it doesn't mean they weren't good. And it's helped me reframe how I'm approaching things. And we kind of talked
Mm.
about that with Kerry. Like sometimes good books don't get picked up and you got to like make it
Yeah.
work and just like keep going if that's just part of our industry, you know, like it happens,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm. That's it exactly. Yeah, you just keep going and you find new books or new
Yeah,
avenues and you just keep going and you take breaks when you need them. And you go
exactly.
slow. I love that you're, not going to fast draft this and you're just like
Yeah.
because really if you continue to push and push and push, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Some can, and and that's great. But for many of us, like that kind of like hardcore, like I gotta keep writing, is not like healthy in the long term. So I think that's great. Like I just saw a friend who is an indie published author,
Yeah.
and she was saying that she or self-published indie pop, I don't know like the proper term, but she's self-published, and
Mm,
she was saying that she had planned on publishing this year, but she's going to push it back until the next year. And for a long
mm,
time it really like irked her because she really wanted to push, but
mm.
just physically and with work and life it just wasn't possible. And I love that she
Yeah.
recognized that and was like, you know what, I'm gonna slow it down and I'm gonna just
Yes.
do it when I can. And I think that's beautiful to give yourself grace.
Yeah. That's it right there. Like, don't get me wrong. I am not hustling any less. I'm hustling
Right.
more efficiently. And that's kind
Ooh.
of like what I'm aiming for. Like, I think it's really hard to break the mindset that you're not going to be successful if you're not being productive all the time. Like, we are literally like hardwired by capitalism to think that we
Yeah.
constantly have to be productive to like mean something. And like
Mm-hmm.
that's like gonna be like a lifelong thing that I have to challenge because yeah, like I'll be like, oh, what now? What now? What could I do now? What could I do now? And I'm like,
Yes.
what if you just sat
Ooh.
and just did nothing? And so I'm forcing myself again to do that because my brain really needs it. That just
Yeah.
shut off of doing nothing. Just sit and stare out the window. You know,
Yes.
people think
Yeah.
old people do that because they're like, I don't know why people think that, like old people just sit and watch.
Yeah.
It's not just because they're old, it's because they're wise. They're like just
Mm.
letting a moment for the world to just settle in. They don't need to
Oh,
be stimulated constantly
that's
because,
beautiful.
they're like
Yeah.
in touch with just the environment around them. And yeah.
It's so good. Well, speaking of someone who's wise,
Yes,
let's
so wise.
intro, so wise. Let's intro our amazing guest that we had on
Yeah.
today. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So, do you want me to do the intro?
Yeah, go
Or
for it.
you're no, I see you on
I I did it
there.
It's up to you. I can do it. You want to do it?
Um,
I chat
uh,
a lot. You do it.
okay. Amélie Wen Zhao was born in Paris and grew up in Beijing, where she spent her days reenacting tales of legendary heroes, ancient kingdoms, and lost magic at her grandmother's courtyard house. She attended college in the United States and now resides in New York City, working as a finance professional by day and fantasy author by night. In her spare time, she loves to travel with her family in China, where she's determined to walk the rivers and lakes of old, just like the practitioners in her novels do. Amélie
Mhm.
is the New York Times bestselling author of The Song of Silver, Flame Like Night duology, and the Blood Heir trilogy. She's represented by Peter Knapp of Park Literary and Media. We need
And
to,
she is amazing. And I could listen to her all day.
yeah. I just could see like while she was speaking, I saw your face and you were just like in heaven
Yeah,
listening to her wisdom.
I
So
was. I was.
yeah,
Everything
yeah.
she said hit. And I was just like delighted. Now we have a minute left. So I'm going to ask you some more would you rathers
Okay.
because your reaction is killing me and I love it.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're ready. Would you rather have to sleep in a coffin full of snakes every night for a year or cut
Holy
off your
shit.
own pinky toe?
Holy shit, Melanie. This that that
That
I guess
one's
I would just
hard.
cut off a pinky toe.
Would you?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
sleep is important.
Mm,
Pinky toe, well,
yeah.
I don't know. That's probably important too, though. I don't know. I'll do my
I
research, but
kind
I
of
feel
agree
like,
with you though, because it'd just be done, one and done. But
yeah,
like a
yeah.
night, I don't think I could sleep without worrying the snakes would like crawl into my throat or something.
Oh God.
We probably need a trigger warning for this episode with all the spiders and snakes.
I I know I needed one, damn it.
It's probably going to cut us off.
Yeah.
But would you rather lick someone's armpit or have someone lick yours?
Neither. Neither. Hello.
Hello. Good to see you guys.
Oh, so good to see you. You look stunning.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
love you guys's. I'm always like curious about people's bookshelves, so I'm just like
Ah!
squint.
And I'm close today because I had to move my table because of the sun. So I'm like, right, I'm in amongst it.
Love it. It's 10 a.m. in Australia right now.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. And it's like
Yes.
it's the day after, right? Yeah. I work with some like Australian colleagues and I never get the time zones right. It's it's all the way out.
It's weird. No, we were just talking about that before you came on because they're about to have another time shift, and every single time it throws us all the way off, and so we have to like triple check to make sure we've
Oh.
got the times right. Because yeah, yes,
Yeah.
they're way ahead. They're way ahead of us. They're so much more advanced in the time spectrum.
Yes, I
Those
am your
Australians.
future friend. And they don't do it at the same time. It's not like on the same day America and Australia changes. It's like I change like a week or two before you or something, and then you
Mhm.
change as well. It's not
Is it for like
okay.
the winter, what is it called? Daylight savings?
Yeah.
Yes. And then the UK changes as well, but like they're all different. So like
Mm.
there are some times when our meetings will shift and it's very confusing, but
But we
It's
got
so
there.
Yeah,
yeah.
but we're here and we all well, I'm gonna say we all, I'm just adding us in this. We all look great. We all look beautiful and
You guys
wonderful.
do. I'm actually headed out to dinner after, so I was like, perfect timing. Like
Yes.
Yes.
I love that. That's perfect. Yeah, I notice like days when I actually have to like put on stuff. That's the days I go out. Otherwise, I'm
yes.
not. I'm staying here. Well, welcome
I
to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
we're
glad to be
honestly,
here.
we're so excited to talk with you about your books and your journey and all the stuff. Do you mind first just telling our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Amélie Wen Zhao. I grew up in Beijing, and then I went to school in the US, and now I'm working here, living in the city, working in a finance job, and then writing young adult fantasy at night. I love C-dramas or Chinese dramas. I love Mando pop. I love K-pop. I also love like true crime and angst. So I feel like there are like two different parts of me. There's like the girly girl and there's like the like horror, like torture your characters kind of angsty writer girl.
love that though. And like I think the older I get, one thing I'm trying to do more and more is embrace all parts of myself. The dark, the light,
Exactly.
the like really girly girl, and then the emo goth deep inside.
Right. Like I feel like my Spotify like year-end roundup always signifies this really well because there'll be like really cute like viral songs and there'll be like the dark
Mm.
doomsday like writing playlists. So it's always fun to see.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you have a favorite C drama?
Yes, right now, because it changes, but I love it's called Lost You Forever or 长相思. And it's one female MC with four guys. So I'm like,
Uh,
oh, lots to choose from. And then my friends and I like we have group chats debating like which is the best love interest and everything. So it's a lot of fun. But it's very
oh,
well made and it's actually from some of my favorite Chinese fantasy books.
Mm.
And it was a great adaptation.
oh,
Mm.
cool. Oh, okay. I'm gonna add that to my list. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I binge so hard on Meteor Garden, right? That's
Oh my gosh, there are so many versions of that. Do you know which one it is?
Melanie, which one is
Netflix. It was the Netflix
is the
one.
Netflix?
Okay, I think that's the mainland Chinese one. I have to
Oh, so
double
there's
check, but
different.
there are
Okay.
like five, all like the I think East Asian countries made their own edition of that.
Really?
I
Yeah.
love that.
Ah.
Yeah, I want to watch them all. I binged so hard. Like, I mean, God, there's hours and hours. I mean, I want to say there's like 39 episodes, and
Yeah, there was.
I watched it all like in days. I kid you not. It was so freaking good. And yeah, so angsty. So much
Yes.
angst.
I
We
need
love
more
it.
Rex. This is great. This is what I needed. What's another? Give us one more rec, a great C drama.
I'm gonna have to go with Ashes of Love. I think it's an
Mm.
older one.
Mm.
There's also a lot of angst in that one too. It's also both are by my favorite like C-drama idol actress. Her name's Yang Zi. I think she's one of the best actresses, at least for the idol actresses, that is. But yeah, I love those shows. Yeah.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
Adding to the list. Adding to the list. I'm so happy. Okay, well, we were gonna ask just one random fact question. We have like we just it's just fun to hear authors at their weirdest and best and most interesting. All authors are so fabulous. Okay, question is, what is the strangest thing you own?
I love this. I'm so glad I looked at the questions before because I was like, what is it? I'm sorry, there's a siren outside my New York apartment.
Of course.
But I think I would have to say I have a giant collection of jade pendants.
Oh my
I have
God.
like 12 that they have like various different carvings on them. They're like various little like Buddhas, or just like little circles or like monkeys, which is my zodiac. And I have like 12 plus of them because my grandma would give me one every single year for my birthday. And
Oh.
I'd be like, I have 5 of these. Like, you do know this, right? She's like, yes, but this one's for good luck again. So I have them all in a collection. I think half of them are here in the US with me. Half of them are probably back in Beijing, sitting somewhere in my room. But whenever like someone used to see that collection, they'd be like, why do you have so many? I'm like, well, let me tell you about my grandma.
I
Oh,
love
that's so
that
special.
so much. Those are imbued with magic for sure. If your grandma gave them to you, that is like the
Oh yeah.
passing on of some, and jade is magical already. Like
Oh yeah.
together with the grandma powers and the jade, you're invincible with like 20 necklaces.
I
Now, did you know you always wanted to be, sorry, there's a fly.
am.
Did you know you always wanted to be a writer?
Um, so I think like I didn't know I wanted to be a writer. I just knew I loved stories. Like my mom showed me pictures of when I was a tiny little toddler. I was like looking at picture books and not understanding what was happening. Um and then when I got a little older, she said I would like sit down, and this sounds so sad, but I would like sit my stuffed animals in a little circle and I'd be like telling them stories. So I think I've like graduated a little bit since then, hopefully. But I but I have always just loved stories. And I think the realization first came to me actually in when I started to learn English in elementary school. One of my teachers was trying to encourage me, and then he read this poem that I wrote about this little wolf in like on the prairie, and he was like, this is the best poem I've ever read.
Wow.
And obviously it wasn't because I could barely write, but he just like looked me in the soul. And then like, I think like 10-year-old Amélie was like, oh my gosh, like this is the best poem he's ever read. Like I could do this. I could be a writer. So that's when like the little dream kindled. But it wasn't like a straightforward path to publishing because I grew up with like stereotypical like Chinese parents, and they're like, you can't be like a starving artist. And I was like, of course not. And of course, there's like the complication that I came to the US and I needed a visa to stay here and work, which publishing does not offer. So I went into the finance world. But I feel like the love of stories never went away. Like for me, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way. It's like it feels like breathing. It feels like something that's so innate that I can't live without. So I just started writing like after work, kind of in the hours when I had free time between the cracks of like life and social engagements. I had no idea if like it would ever go anywhere. I didn't even know if I could publish in the US like without a visa or anything. So I just wrote, and then thankfully it worked out, and here I am.
Um, you got me in the feels with it feels like breathing, because that is it right there. And you know what? It's what I come back to anytime I feel like, oh, it's too hard. Like maybe I'm not cut out for this, whatever. I'm like, you can't not do this because even like in the darkest of dark days, writing is a light, and it's
Mhm.
so that.
It is. It's beautiful. I mean, I totally agree. It's like this special sort of magic that a lot of times we have to fight for because we do have jobs and
Mhm.
lives and responsibilities and sometimes I feel like that's where you find the extra magic is because it's like,
Mm.
no, I really want to do this. I want to be here. And and here we are. You've got beautiful books behind you. So like, yep, you've done it. You've found the magic and it's stunning. What was your like publishing journey like? So did you write and you queried and like that traditional sort of sense? Like how did you get from wanting to write to being this amazing like author?
Mm.
It was, oh my gosh, it was not straightforward because I didn't know anything about publishing when I decided to go for it. So I just knew I wanted to write. I knew I knew the next step was to get an agent.
Mm.
Um, and I didn't know anything that came after. So I had written a draft. I posted a few bits of it on a critique site and I started to improve that way. And
Mm.
that's how I found my first critique partners who were actually into writing because everyone around me was in like some sort of finance and other fields, to be honest. So this was my first like kind of touch into like, oh, there are other writers out there who are trying to do this like me. So I got critiques, I got feedback, I like wrote and rewrote the draft of my book for I want to say 3 years. And then I remember it was an author who was agented at the time, and
Mm.
she said, "Okay, I read your book and I really like it. I think you have a shot." And then I was like, "Okay, I think like she's already in the industry. Hopefully, she knows what she's talking about. Maybe I can go ahead and query this draft." So I found out about DV Pitt. I think
Mm.
back then it was on Twitter.
Mm.
Um, I just threw out a pitch out there and then queried the agents that liked it. And then the first agent who offered me, I had such a good feeling. I was like, oh my gosh, I love them. Like they clearly understand my vision, my work. So I went through with a few other offers, but I ended up coming back to this agent. And he's been an amazing partner. From then on, he kind of like took the reins. It's so embarrassing because he was like, "Oh, now we have to submit this to editors at imprints," and I was like, "Oh, like what's an imprint?" And he must have been like, "What did I just sign?"
No, that's not.
So,
Let's just like stop shaming ourselves. Do you know how many times I've been like, I didn't know what imprints. There was like a million terminology that I had no idea. We just need to embrace
yeah.
each other and be like, none of us know what these words are until someone explains it to us. You know?
That's so true. And throughout publishing, I feel like people just forget that, like
Yeah.
we're debuts or we're not, we don't work in publishing and they don't know that we don't know some terms. So
Mm.
thank you for saying that. Completely
Yeah.
agree. Um, but yeah, so he thankfully I think it was kind of a blessing too that I didn't know enough to be freaked out with the submissions process.
Yeah,
So
sometimes that's best, huh?
I know, yeah. So I was just like, yeah, yeah, go for it, do your thing. And then so I signed with Random House and I've been with them since.
Mm.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh my gosh. Now, do you have any like tips for maybe budding authors that are looking to get into this industry? It could even be writing tips.
Yeah, oh gosh, I think the journey is so different for everyone. I'm
Mm.
sure like the three of us have different journeys, and the writing process is also just so different because it's
Yeah.
creative. And I don't think there's any advice that applies to anyone. The one that I found most useful is to just sit down and try to write at a frequent cadence because I think
Mm.
writing is kind of like a muscle. Like if you don't, or if it's like playing an instrument, right? If you don't exercise it and if don't you don't use it often, it's going to get rusty. You're going to get rusty. Like even if I don't draft for a couple weeks, I feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. So I would say just try to write, out of cadence, try to mark out the time because it's so difficult. We have so many things, as you said, Angela, competing priorities and jobs and life and everything. So just taking out the time to do it, and little by little you build a book. And I always say, like, you can't revise or improve a book that doesn't exist yet. So just get the book done and then think about the next steps.
That's such good advice. Something I'm trying to keep in mind as I'm drafting now. Like just get the draft out because yeah, you can play around with it later.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just writing it is the hardest part. I'm someone who prefers revisions most of the time.
Yeah.
So I think, but then I'm in revisions and I'm like, oh, I want to go back to drafting. But it is easier to work on something that, exists, that you can make better in my process.
Yeah, I've found that for myself as well. Like just getting the words on the page, you can always go back and fix and understand what needs to be worked on. So I hear that. And I love that, like little bit by little bit. It's true. Like you just keep going and eventually you will have this book shaped thing and you can revise and like just keep going. So I think that's really great. Was there anything that surprised you like once you did publish, like anything surprise you about the publishing industry just at large?
I think it's still honestly a surprise that like a lot of us, like we said with the terms, right? A lot of us don't know a lot of what is going on or what we're doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes like I ask publishers, what defines success or what makes a book, do well. And the answer is frequently, oh, we don't completely know. So it makes me feel a bit better. I feel like my own process is always changing as well. So I'm like, okay, like we're all kind of figuring it out here. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's it right there. It's a bit of a mystery, all of it. Now, I want to know about these amazing books behind you. So, the sequel to Song of Silver, Flame Like Night, has come out. Can you tell us about this beautiful duology of yours? I'm just obsessed with those covers behind
I
you, first
know
of
the
all.
covers. Oh my
That
gosh.
is art. I would do that as like a wallpaper in a room. It's
Yes,
stunning.
truly.
It was not a straightforward process at all. Like I love how they turned out. But it was like an 8-month process.
Really?
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Can you tell us
But
about it? Was there like a
yeah,
reason?
they are beautiful, beautiful now, but it was like the colors at first weren't working out. And then they decided to switch an artist, and then the colors again weren't working out, and then the font. And it was an 8-month process for Song of Silver. Thankfully they did a beautiful job with the final product. And then I'm hiding Dark Star, but this one was the second book, which was much easier. They were just like, okay, we're gonna go with, they're the similar concepts. So I'm super, super grateful for that. But the books they are Chinese fantasy. They are set in a fantastical version that basically mirrors ancient China, throughout history, but a colonized version of it. So within the Hidden people have had their land stolen, their magic, oppressed, and they're under the rule of these people called the Elantians. And there's one girl who bears a strange mark on her arm from her mother, who used to be a magic wielder or a practitioner. And so she essentially holds the key to awaken these ancient demon gods that sleep at the heart of her kingdom, she realizes. And she has to partner with a handsome and really stern, scholarly magician boy to fight for their land.
Yes.
Yep. Honestly, it just sounds just gorgeous. And like yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to read it all. It has an audiobook, correct?
Yes, their
Okay, good.
audiobooks are about.
Good. Yes.
That was like a
Purchasing.
poem to my soul of like all my favorite tropes in fantasy. My body was like, oh, yes.
I I saw you sighing into it, just listening, Melanie.
The
You were like, yes,
tattoo, the magical girl, the
yeah,
boy. I was just like, yes.
just feed
I
it to
love
me.
all the tropes and like just I think
Yeah.
writing part of it is like, okay, what are my favorite tropes? I'm gonna
Yeah.
indulge, and that's all the fun of it.
That is the fun, honestly. Like my second book, we're in past pages now, which is really fun. But like when I first wrote it, I wrote like every trope into the story. And one of my editors, David Yoon, always he teases me about it because he's like, you don't need this many. Like we don't have to have every trope you've ever read and ever loved. And I was like, okay, you're you're right. But
But
we love them.
there's a reason they're tropes. Like they're good, they work, and they're executed in different ways by different writers, and that's what makes it so fun.
It's so stinking fun. Now, what inspired this story?
I would have to say, ooh, this was inspired. This was my COVID book. I'm sure every writer has a COVID book. This one was mine. It was inspired so during the pandemic, um, China went into like a lockdown. The flights from US to China were discontinued. So I could not go home and see my family for I think it was about 4 years. So
Oh.
during that, I found myself really missing home. And so I was like, if I can't physically be there, why don't I write a book that's set in there? So it was kind of like me hallucinating all my favorite parts of home and then injecting magic into it. And at the same time, there was, kind of some strong anti-Asian sentiment with the pandemic going on. And so I really wanted to make a story with a powerful, Asian girl who one of the most significant quotes in this book is she would no longer be the flower, she would become the blade. So that's
Ooh,
how
I
I
got
felt during the time.
chills.
Oh,
Just
thank
got
Same.
you.
chills. Yeah.
But that's how I felt during the time. And I ended up incorporating so much of just my own heritage and my family history into it. A lot of those I had listened to my grandma, the same grandma with jade pendants. I listened to her tell me those when we visited her home and everything. So a lot of it just came poured from like inside. And it was just it was such a nice experience to be able to tell this tale.
Mm. You know what? Like just grandparents in general, it's something I've been thinking about a lot. It's something I love about Ghibli films. They really incorporate old people so well
Yeah.
into it. And lately I've been thinking like I want to, and like my husband and I traveled Japan a bit, and there's always these grannies that just adopt you out in the countryside. And I was just like, there's something so iconic about like grandmas and grandpas, but like I have a soft spot for grandmas. There's just like something about them that we need to see them more in our books. So that's one of my goals.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that, Melanie. That's sweet. Yeah. Cheers to grandmas everywhere.
I do. I just have a lot of grandma love. I'm not close with either I never was with mine. Maybe that's why I get adopted by other grandmas.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, you know what? We'll take you. That's fine.
Yes.
I love
Well, how
that.
did it compare to writing your other books, this latest one? Was it the same or different, or how did you feel?
Oh, I would say it felt more deliberate. My first trilogy, the Blood Heir trilogy, felt much more like a debut book where I had no idea what I was doing, if it was right. And it felt more like I was like stumbling through the process because everything in publishing was so new to me. But I feel like by the time I got to Song, I felt like, okay,
Mm.
I have a trilogy under my belt. I've done this before, and I can do this again. So it felt more
Mm.
deliberate. I made some different craft choices in it. And it just felt like I had more experience from from my debut. I mean, it's always like a learning process. Like even writing my next books, I feel like I'm learning as well. And styles shift, books shift, and I feel like they're like little time capsules of like the person you were and like the craft
Mm.
that you liked at the time.
Oh, yeah. That's it right there. That's deep, honestly. And like it really makes me feel hopeful too, because I mean, I'm only working on my second book, but I do see a difference in my writing. And like that's all I want is just to continue to
Yeah.
learn and grow and get better. And you know, it kind of goes back to what you were saying about just like flexing and like working that writerly muscle.
Mm.
Um, and it's really so exciting if you think about it. Like I get to write a new book and I can do something different and better than what I did. And previously they thought, oh, this is it. This is the best I can do. But we
Uh-huh.
can do better. And it's so, so exciting.
Yeah, I think there was a very seasoned author. I don't want to, I forget exactly who it was, but she said, "Oh, every time someone says they're reading my older works, I have to stop myself from going like, no, please don't read that. It sucks. It's horrible. Please read my new books."
Mm.
Um, and I honestly felt the same. Like every time someone's like, "Oh my God, I got your debut. I have Blood Heir." I'm like, "Oh my God." That was debut baby me, please read my new books. But as you said, Angela, we just have to remember that that's who we were at the time, that's the best that we did at the time, and that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
think don't underestimate who it will reach like at different times. Like maybe where you were when you wrote that is where someone is when they read it, you know? They might not
I
be
love
ready for the other book, but maybe they needed this first book because that's where their thinking process is at the time or whatever.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Mm.
Yeah. That was good, Melanie. That was really, really good.
Claire,
I, I like that. I like that. No. What has been the hardest part of your writing journey so far?
I think right now, and it's still hard, I feel like the balance, and I'm sure, most writers can attest to this, just balancing, we have day jobs, we have, a life, hopefully, outside of writing. So being able to, to come home from work and, as we discussed, like carve out the time when like sometimes all I want to do is just flop on my couch and watch a movie with my husband, or go out to dinner with my friends. So being able to just commit to that, and then and honestly just trying to juggle it all. For me, I've been working my finance job while writing this entire time.
Mm.
And coming home from work and just like turning on the laptop and trying to like get something on the page after a long day is just it's tiring sometimes. And sometimes the feeling that you're not fully able to do everything 100% because you have this whole extra thing going on
Mm.
in between the cracks of your life just feels it's always like a balancing act for
Mm.
me.
Is there something you do to like try switch your brain over from work mode to writer mode?
Mm.
I I feel like by now I've conditioned myself so well to just instantly be able to like
Mm.
sink into the draft because I'm like I don't have that much time. Like I have to just get the words on the page. So I'm just like able to instantly dive in. And it's honestly, it's so much more fun than looking at interest rates and Excel spreadsheets. Like I'm like, oh, I get to go home and write about like dragons and magic and kissing. Like, what is better than that? So yeah, I think I've trained myself at this point.
Mm.
Yeah, there's nothing better than dragons and magic and kissing. I think
Absolutely.
that's the trifecta right there. You can't beat that. What has been the best part of your journey so far?
I think just connecting with readers and with writers like yourselves. Before it was so rare of me in my field to know, people who read, especially like who read actual fiction and like actual fantasy fiction. Since then, a lot of people like, I don't know, disconcertingly at my bank, like they've come up and been like, "Oh my God, like I also love reading fantasy." I'm like, "Please don't read my books." Please don't. No, jokes aside, I think just connecting with readers and like there will always be some message that's like, "Oh, you saved my life. Like I really
Mm.
connected with these characters." And you pulled me out of a dark spot. And I think that's the best part of stories. Like you can get so immersed into them. Like I recently read a series and I did not sleep, or I barely slept, but I felt like my soul was like on fire, and I was like, I have to read the next book. I don't care if I don't sleep. So that feeling, but having people share that with your work is just it's the most rewarding part of what we do, I think.
It's beautiful. Honestly, it's powerful. Can you tell us what that series was? I'm going to add it to my list as well. Do you remember?
Okay, it was the Lost You Forever books. It was
Okay.
a Chinese drama that I watched, but in book form.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I was like obsessed. I didn't sleep, and I was
all
like,
right.
oh my God, I have to find out what happens. But since then, I think I've been super consumed with, have you guys read One Dark Window?
No.
It's by Rachel Gillig. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It was such a consuming read. I was like, this is amazing. And I could not stop thinking about it for like 2 whole days. It was so good.
I love
That's the
that.
goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
really love that people from your, even though it might have been a little bit confronting, I love that people from your work came up and were like, I read fantasy too, because that's like really powerful, and I think like sharing our love of like some of our dorky stuff that we like, it's not dorky though, is it? We only say that about it until someone affirms like, this is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. What fills your creative well? Like what gives you the magic?
Oh my gosh. I think, of course, reading books that I'm utterly consumed by, but
Yeah.
also traveling. Like I think especially traveling on research trips, which I get to double as my trips home these days.
Yes.
That just really fills me because there's so, like China in particular, which is, where my current books are set. It's such like a there's so much magic, I feel, that's like steeped into the land. It's so ancient and vast. And there's just so much beauty in it. So I think traveling and just looking at the inspiration and at the real historical events that happened in these locations I visit really refills my creative well.
I love that so much. And is there anything you wish readers knew before reading your book?
Oh, I don't think, yeah, I don't think there's much that I wish they knew before reading these.
Mm.
I think just enjoy. And hopefully, I think reading from like a different perspective, like reading
Mm.
diversity,
Mm.
always just makes us more sympathetic to, to different groups of people. But I don't
Yeah.
think in particular there's anything I wish they knew before they dived into these books.
Yeah.
Mm.
They just need to know to get ready and be
Oh yeah,
prepared for
when it has
greatness.
dragons and kissing.
We've already said it. It's a trifecta.
Mm.
Okay. One of our favorite questions is looking back at all you've accomplished, what advice would you give a younger version of yourself before you started this journey?
I think I would just say, do everything you've done. Just be kind in general. In life as well. I feel like you get what you put in. Just be kind to people and work hard. I think in general, that's my motto. So I would probably do the same thing.
Yeah,
I
I
kind of
think
just
that's
want to
good.
cry at that answer because it's so perfect. It's like literally when, like, every day I'm just like, just be kind. Just like, it's not that hard. Just like, be kind. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, you think it's simple, but it's so not, right? It's like that
Apparently not. For like,
for,
yeah,
for so many.
I know.
Yeah. But being kind to yourself too, like
Mm,
that's what I've been really working on this year is just being kinder to me. And truly
mm,
it really changes so much. Like it's stunning, it's wild how cruel you can be to yourself. And so to like put an
yeah.
effort to be kind is magic and it's powerful.
Mm,
What's next for you?
Ooh. Writing wise, I am so excited. We haven't announced my next series, but it is a dark Chinese romantasy. So I'll be joining you in Romantasy land. And I am so just consumed by this project. Like it's the first time I wrote this book in like 6 weeks, which has
Wow.
never happened,
Wow.
especially while working. It just like clawed itself out of me, and I can't stop thinking about the sequel either. So I was like, I'm excited.
That sounds amazing already. Like whatever it is, I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm here. We need it. We're ready. Yes, the
Thank
world
you.
is ready. That is fabulous. Well, our time is dwindling down, and I just want to stop and say thank you so much for taking the time to join us and just to chat with us about your journey. Honestly, it's so magical and really, really exciting to see.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was such a joy. A really great break from my bank work.
Yes. I could listen to you all day. It was definitely a writer therapy episode. I feel like we've got 1 minute left, so I really want to squeeze in one more of our random questions. What is something
Yeah.
you think about way too often?
I love this question. I thought about this, but I think about torturing characters. I always think I'm like, how can I torture the love interest? Like I love angst in my romances, and there's nothing better than like a tortured love interest for me.
That's
Yes,
so
the
true.
more torture, the better. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
We love to read it and we love you. And yeah, really thank you for coming on and sharing everything. It's gonna cut us off any second, but yeah, like come back anytime. You're welcome
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nice to see you guys face to face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thank you so much.
No, it's our pleasure. You have a great night. Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, what's for dinner? Oh well, it's at a restaurant.
Oh yeah, it's called Zizi's Club. I have never been, but one of my friends is in
Oh.
the food industry and he was like, "Oh, like we have these exclusive spots." And I was like,
Oh.
"Yeah,
Well,
sign me
you,
up."
yeah, enjoy.
Yes,
Thank
you've
you.
earned it. Bye.
Bye.